Information and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Celebrating the
Years of real estate experience in selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes, to renting versus selling, and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Hi, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders. I am your host, and today we have one of our sponsors, Max Fish. He's our mortgage guy, and we're going to talk today about, I'm never going to get this name right, but I know the loan because I do it all the time with clients. It's a debt servicing coverage ratio.
DSCR loan.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me, Laura. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming today. So first I want to say congratulations. Max is having a baby. Well, he's not having a baby, as you can see, but
my beautiful wife is.
Yes.
Thank you so
congratulations.
much. Thank you.
They're having a boy. So I have 2 boys, so I know that it's all great until it's not.
I'm ready for it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Anyway, I love my boys. So, so this loan that we're talking about today is a loan that can really help people jumpstart their investment portfolio.
100%.
And I have a lot of clients that do this loan. However, there's some things that you need to know about this loan before you can be a candidate for it. Number 1 is you have to own your own primary.
Correct. So the loan is really geared towards investors that don't qualify in a conventional way. So a lot of people that want to get into real estate or build their portfolio that are self-employed, they may not claim all of their income on their taxes. They might have a lot of write-offs or a lot of expenses. And so when they go to qualify for a mortgage, they may make $1 million a year, but they may write off 90% of it. $999,000. And they can't qualify for a conventional loan. So these loans are geared towards people that own their own primary residence. That's one of the parameters.
Yeah, so you don't think that you're going to get in and put your name, you could put your name on your parents' house, right? And say that's your primary.
You could, as long as you're on title of a house. As long, you don't have to be on a mortgage. As long as you're on title, you have ownership.
Glad I thought of that.
of a primary residence. This is recorded, right?
Yes, I know.
As long as you own a primary residence, you can then put 20% down. That's the minimum. And as long as the market rent of the property, which it always should, in my opinion, cover the mortgage payment,
right.
As long as the market rent covers the mortgage payment, then that's the qualification needed for the loan.
I have to say, though, with the market the way that it was, and it was covering it, I was like, whoa. Sometimes I was really nervous. I would look at it myself, and I'm like, well, I'm a lot more conservative than they are.
Yeah. Well, it's all about comparables. It's the same thing with appraisal, right? Sometimes the market analysis of a property, like an appraisal or a market rent, doesn't really mean that's what you could sell it for, or that's what you can rent it for.
Right.
It's really just the comparables in the neighborhood. And so, there's been situations where, that's become a stretch in certain areas.
But,
sure.
And I know it's like, you know all this, but then I just think of the things that have happened with my clients is that if the rents don't, then you can put more money down.
Correct. So
to make it work.
Yeah, so that's a good point.
Yeah. So you forget that sometimes. There's so much stuff, and that's why it's like, for me, like a lot of agents don't know the things that I know.
No, I mean,
and when I talk with mortgage guys, they're like, how do you know that? And I'm like, I just do.
No, that's fantastic. It's just transactional experience. You know? So, but that's a good point, Laura. So if the market rent doesn't cover the mortgage payment and whatever the case may be, meaning maybe it's an odd house that you can rent for more, but there's not really any comparables, or the market rent hasn't caught up with the current market, whatever the case may be, you can actually change your down payment to 30%, and then you can still get the loan even if it doesn't cover.
Oh, I see. I didn't even know that it was that.
Yeah, from 20
Yeah.
to 30, an extra 10% down, and you can still just you can get the
Donna
loan.
would not have that. Sorry,
That's a
I had
shout-out.
to. So hope you're watching, Donna, and you know that.
Yeah, that's a good shout out. But the cool part about DSCR, not to talk your ear off about it, but the cool part about it is
No,
that
I think this is the whole purpose of the show, is to help people to make
Yeah.
money, and this is a way to create wealth. Owning
Sure.
property is just one avenue to creating wealth. Listen, we could put all our money in the stock market, but that's not what we should do. We need to
100%.
we need to have other avenues to create wealth, and real estate is definitely, even though after everything that's gone on this last year and a half, real estate is one of the best ways to create wealth. And as a realtor and as a mortgage person, we're not trying to just sell you that because that's what we do. It's just, it's a proven fact.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so everybody out there knows, I use this loan on myself too.
Okay.
So I've done this loan personally, so it's not something that I would pitch and not do.
But how does the interest rate look on a loan like this?
Yeah, so the interest rates are typically about a point to a point and a half higher than a conventional, regular standard
So
conventional
that's your
loan.
penalty for not claiming $999,000 of your
Correct.
income of your $1 million.
Correct. So I tell people, I'm like, you have two options.
Right.
Either you're going to pay higher interest on a loan like this,
Or you're gonna pay taxes.
you're going to pay much higher in taxes. So,
Right.
those
Or
are
you're
the
not going to have
options.
an option to buy property because you don't make enough money.
Correct. So the really cool part about this loan that is different about conventional loans is that this loan allows you to put the home in the name of an LLC.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can purchase the house. You don't have to quit claim deed after. You don't have to go
Which,
through any
be
of
careful,
that.
guys. Our title sponsor can definitely talk about quick claiming homes. You could really create yourself a real problem.
Yeah.
With doc stamps, and what have
Absolutely.
you. So,
And you don't have to go through any of that with this loan. So
Okay.
this loan you can, and it doesn't have to be a pre-existing LLC. You can literally create it in the middle of the process, and
Okay.
then close in the name of that LLC, which is a pretty cool nuance about those types of loans.
you know what? Maybe I knew that, and see, I learned something every
Oh, there
single
you go.
day. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
learned something every single day.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're going to come back. We're going to go to commercial. We're going to go ahead and see your commercial and
Awesome.
our new sponsor, Title Brothers. So just hang in there, and we will go to commercial.
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fish, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fish is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations, ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fish today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
At Title Brothers LLC, our mission is to give you the best closing experience anywhere in the country. Founded in 2020 by Adam Lohman and Josh Wiseman, here at Title Brothers, we're your one-stop shop for residential real estate, title insurance, title and escrow services, real estate closing, and due diligence services. While primarily located in South Florida, we also host dozens of closings throughout the state and even electronically as requested. To contact the Title Brothers, call us at 954-995-4988 or visit our website and get a quick quote today.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at thelaurazell.com. And now back to the show.
Hi, and welcome back to Making Money with Laura. I forgot to say Happy Hanukkah. So today is the second night of Hanukkah. So to all my fellow Jews, Happy Hanukkah. So let's get back to mortgages, because this is definitely something that is, I think it's like it's an everyday topic.
Sure.
Real estate seems to be an everyday topic
Absolutely,
lately.
it's everywhere.
It never was, and now it is. It's crazy.
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
So the loan limits have changed for 2023. In fact, you can start to use them in December,
now,
right?
Right now, yeah.
it is the 2023, but you can use it now. So why don't you tell us a little more about FHA loan limits, conventional loan limits,
Sure.
everything that's going on? I mean, there's substantial change in FHA
Sure.
for us.
I know. So FHA loans are, well, let me just debunk a quick myth about FHA loans. They're not first-time home buyer loans.
Okay.
So I just want to debunk that myth. Anybody can use an FHA loan for the most part, as long as they don't have a current FHA loan.
Okay.
So if they have an FHA loan, they can sell it and then use their FHA loan again for a
Or
primary
refinance
residence.
their FHA loan and then
Into
get
a
another
conventional-
FHA?
Correct. So FHA loans are widespread as first-time home buyer loans because they're known as the loans with a low down payment of 3.5%. So up to now, the loan limit in the Tri-County area for FHA loans was $460. And we all know with the increase in home price, that severely limits a lot
Yeah.
of people and prices them out. Into 2023, the new FHA loan limits are $557, $750.
It's almost $100,000.
Almost $100,000 difference.
Yeah.
And so what we're seeing now is now people can qualify for a 576, 577 range with as little as 3.5% down and a credit score down to 580.
That's crazy.
And so that severely opens the pool for potential buyers qualifying in a market like this.
Right.
And FHA loans also have lower interest rates typically than conventional loans.
And FHA allows for a higher debt to income ratio.
Exactly. So all of these
That's
things.
why sometimes people
Correct.
utilize that. So I guess, we'll talk about the loan rate, the loan changes for conventional.
Yeah, sure.
But then I want to jump back to FHA and about like that debt to income to let people understand what that really means.
Absolutely.
And I know for some people, like, we're dumbing it down, and for some people, it's like they really don't have any idea. So if
Yeah.
our fellow realtors, mortgage people are watching, you're like, oh my God, like everybody knows this. No, everybody doesn't, and that's why I feel like we have to be very, hand-holding in this process. So we don't know who's watching this,
Sure.
and we want everybody to learn a little something. And even I learned something new. So
Yeah.
maybe another realtor, you learned something new today. So and also some things that I know a lot of people that don't have as much experience as I do, are now learning from what you and I are talking about.
100%.
So it's kind of like we're just like shooting the.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed
exactly.
to say the word, but we're shooting.
So we'll come back
The
to
shirt.
the FHA loan, but for conventional, the loan limit is up from 647 and change to 726,200. And
Wow.
so that's
Why do they
up-
have to make it these weird numbers we
I
can't
know,
remember?
it's so weird. It's
You
so
had to be
weird, but-
talking to yourself like all 2 weeks, going 726.
I know, I had to, like,
200,
remember.
726.
So 726,200. That's almost $80,000.
That's crazy.
Right, and so these loan limits have really opened it up for people. I mean, now somebody can buy a $750,000 house with 5% down. Somebody can buy a $900,000 house and not have to go jumbo if they're putting 20%.
Yeah.
And so that
a game changer.
Yeah, so that helps with qualification as well. So those types of things we're honoring right now, moving into 2023, and I think that it's going to make a big impact on buyers' qualification.
But do you
the
think
next
buyers
12
are a little
months.
scared right now? Except for you.
I mean, I think they are, but I think it comes down to what kind of programs are the companies that they're financing through offering,
Right.
right? And so
what can you do that another company can't do?
So for me, I have the flexibility of being an owner of my company. I have a flexibility of, kind of altering the products and the programs that I run based off of people's needs in a given market.
Okay.
So I'll tell you a story. So I was talking to a client, and they were like, I don't think I want to purchase right now because I don't want to have to refinance when rates go down. I'll just wait till rates go down. For me, it's more about I don't want to have to pay closing costs and fees again and things like that. So in that moment, I said, okay, you know what? Me and my company are offering a program to where for all returning clients, you're not going to have to pay any bank fees when you refinance. Underwriting, processing, appraisal, credit report, we'll cover it all. Just in that, and that's going to take your closing costs down $2,500 to $3,000, right?
But they still have to pay doc stamps again.
They
You
still,
can't,
and
you can't
I go
control
over.
that. Yeah.
I go over. They still have the title company
Yeah, you
costs.
have them sign something because people get very confused and they don't understand. And then later on, they're like, well, you told me there wasn't going to
Yeah.
be any costs. And you're like, these are the costs that I told you.
Sure, I put
right?
it in writing for them.
Okay.
So I put in writing the costs that they're not going to have the cost that I have control over.
Right. And you still get paid a little bit on the back end.
Well,
it's not like you're not getting paid,
well,
right?
you know, there's different ways that my company gets paid, of course, but at the end of the day, that money for those things has to come from somewhere, and it's genuinely coming from me, right?
Yeah, but you know, we all do things for our clients.
Exactly.
And you know what? If they're really happy with you, like I don't know. I believe in like that. If you do something good for somebody, like they're going to refer you to somebody else. Like
Sure.
for you know, if you're doing the right thing by them, not something good, you know. But if you're doing something right by them.
Sure. And so that's just an example to answer your question about, you know, kind of pivoting with the market, understanding, you know, your clientele and what consumers are worried about and care about, and kind of just try to do everything within your power to make them more comfortable and understand that you have their back in a tough market.
No, that's great. I mean, that's really, really good. So going back though, and I try, you know, I'm trying not to jump around, but there's just so much information, right?
To talk
so
about.
if we go back to, because I didn't want to, you know, not stay with where the loan limits have changed.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the loan limits, so now we go back to FHA. So they allow you to have a higher debt to income ratio, which conventional doesn't. So, and changes, like, I know it's not a thing now, but I think it will be a thing again. I don't know how you feel. Short sales and foreclosures.
Yeah.
So back in the day, right, before your time, so back in the day, short sales and foreclosures were a big thing. And, you know, the buyers that came out of the short sale, I think it was 2 years later, they could buy again FHA. So if you had the money to put down to bring it down to the FHA loan limit, you could buy a more expensive house.
Correct. I mean, you could, if the loan limit is, let's just say round numbers, if the loan limit is $550, you could purchase a $3 million house if you're going to put down 2.5, you know, and still go FHA.
And go FHA, which that's a misconception though. People don't realize that. Like, so for instance, realtors, when you're doing the input of your listing and it says FHA okay, it is okay.
Yeah.
But the problem is when we put FHA okay, and the realtors that don't have the experience, they bring an FHA buyer, and I'm like, no, you got to bring it down to the FHA loan limit.
Yeah.
And they don't understand that, so they just see FHA okay as checked. So
and I think that is a misconception amongst realtors as well, but it really shows that there's a disconnect between a lender-realtor relationship, right?
It's also a disconnect in getting. So when you get your license, they don't teach you really anything. And by the way, you know, I don't know about you. I think I saw once there was an issue where township and range was needed. They don't teach you any of this stuff when you're getting your license. Your test is nothing anywhere close to what.
Sure. And it's the same thing on the mortgage side.
I took my mortgage license test, you know, 20 years ago.
I mean, I took the test and I kind of, you know, got out into the field and I'm like, I mean, I know the laws, but I don't really know how to do this.
Right.
You know, like the ins and outs of loans and qualification, it's very different.
It takes some time to understand it. And so who taught you?
Well, you know, it's hard. It's hard in the mortgage industry. There's not as many teams as there are in real estate, you know, with real estate teams and mentors and things like that. I had a mentor, his name was Louis Corral, and he really took me under his wing and really taught me everything he knew. And it was, you know, it was like mortgage boot camp. You know?
Wow.
And it was a really good experience.
Yeah, because you have to understand how to price it out.
Yeah, and there was some mess ups in the beginning, but he was really there to help make sure that
you didn't get arrested. No, I'm just kidding.
To make sure that I didn't really mess up people's deals. You know, and that was, you know, that was pivotal in me building relationships. But I think that the relationship between lender and realtor is super important because there needs to be that open dialogue of, hey, it's great that Laura Sanders knows as much as you do about mortgages, but that's not what you do on an everyday basis. Is you're a top-notch realtor, right? And so it's important that you partner with people that are keeping you up to date and kind of having that open dialogue with you. Just
and
like
it changes every day.
Exactly, just like we can learn from you. Anything I know about real estate and contractual real estate is not because I do it. It's because I work with people that we have.
Things
have
happen,
that open
and
dialogue.
that's how you learn from things happening, and experience is what really teaches us, you know.
Correct. It's transactional experience.
Sometimes the experience you don't want, but you know.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, there's There's you learn through transactions, in this business, fortunately and unfortunately, right? And so you can have somebody that's been doing it for 3 or 4 years that has done a ton of transactions, and they've experienced a lot, just in those transactions.
Right.
Maybe not market shifts and things like that. Obviously, you get that from people that have been around a long time, but in this industry, you do. As a consumer, as a realtor, as a lender, in title, insurance, whatever it is, you learn in the transactions, because there's no way that a textbook can hold some of the things that we experience on a daily basis.
No, I get it.
There's no way. So that's just my 2 cents.
So where do you foresee rates going in the new year? I mean, I know you don't have a crystal ball. I know they had a psychic just leave here. We should have asked her. Yeah, but
We should have.
Where do you see rates going to in the next year? April is always a big time for people to put their homes on the market to
Yeah.
get sold for summertime for school.
Yeah.
In certain areas, that particular timing doesn't hold fast for everybody. Wouldn't hold fast for Wilton Manors.
Yeah.
But it would hold fast for.
Sure.
It would hold fast for Coral Springs, Parkland areas, Boca Raton, that kind of stuff where the schools are highly desired and sought after. So.
Yeah, so I mean, as far as rates are concerned, in my opinion, I think that rates are going to start coming down within the next 12 months. Now, down to where they were in 2020 and 2021.
That's not gonna happen.
No, but down from where they are right now. Yeah, I mean, we've already seen it in the past month. The average 30-year fix got up to 7.38. Today, it ended at 6.27.
Okay.
Right, so we're over a full % down already. I think that once inflation starts to get under control a little bit,
I think
that's
what's
going to happen.
That's the problem. The problem isn't the mortgage rate. The problem isn't, us.
Yeah.
It's everything went up so fast. It's such an
Precedented.
Yeah. And the thing is the person at Dunkin' Donuts making more money?
No.
Have they haven't raised,
Really
they
sad.
talked about
Yeah.
raising, minimum wage, but listen, they raised minimum wage. Now hamburgers $15. And by the way, the hamburger's $19 anyway. It's not even 15, it's 19. And it's like it's spiraling. And then the new thing that I'm seeing this is getting me. People, don't be cheap. Just get yourself new menus. Stop charging us 4%.
Oh, I know.
4%.
I know. It's
I'm like, you're charging me to use my credit card. There's one restaurant that's charging 4%, whether you use credit card or cash, as a COVID fee. I'm like, are you
Jeez.
kidding me?
Well, here's what people don't realize. What people don't realize is that the rates work inversely with prices, right? So the reason why prices exploded, or because rates
were so low.
And so if you're out there and you're looking for a perfect market where rates are really low and prices are also really low, economics and statistics just tell you that's impossible.
But here's what people don't understand. Let's talk, because I know we're not going to have much time. But
Sure.
this is how I see it, and it doesn't matter if you agree with me or not, because I'm right. So here's how I look at it, and you tell me if I'm wrong about what I say.
Okay.
If I bought a house for $750,000 at 3%.
I know you're going with this, and I love it.
And I buy a house for $750,000, and I buy, and I'm sorry, $650,000. $750, same house, $750, $650, 3%, and 6%, 6.5%, right? My payment's going to be lower on the $750,000 house at 3%. It is. It's going to be lower because it's 3%.
Sure.
I've already did it. I worked the numbers
Yep.
on this, right? It works, right?
Sure.
The problem is that if I buy the house for $750 and I need to move because of a job, it's probably going to be worth $675,
Correct.
and now I'm going to have to do a short sale or have a foreclosure on my
Correct.
hand, or I'm going to be stuck with the house. I'm going to have to rent it. So to me, it's like buy the house at $650,
Correct.
pay the 6% interest, and when it goes down, whenever it does, like people did in the past where they've refined. See, the problem is people never had this much experience going on that they've had in the last couple of years. So
100%. I mean, I couldn't agree more, because from my perspective,
here's where my passion came out.
No, that's okay. From my perspective, when I talk to clients, I tell them, I always tell them, you can change what interest you're paying on a house, but you can't change what you bought it for.
Right.
You can't change.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
So
what you're saying.
Marry the house and date the
Correct,
rate.
correct.
So If they want to marry the house and date the rate, you can call me at 954-650-0827 if you want to marry the house. And if you want to date the rate, give Max a
Love
call.
it.
And how can we get a hold of you, Max?
Love it. You can call me at 954-729-6933 any time of the day, weekends, anything you need, I'm always available.
And you can find us on AMP Media Productions. Also, you can find me on my website at laurasell.com, and you can give me a call, and I can give you any information you need on Max. But, with that being said, thank you for joining us. Have a happy holiday, and we will have Max back with us next month in January.
Yes, ma'am. Looking
So
forward to
we
it.
look forward to the
Thank
new
you.
year. So thank you for joining Making Money with Laura. Till next time, have a great night.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust.